So we're here in the garage doing some benching, obviously. Got the water loop going, 2 pond pumps. Got the 1080 radiator there. Only 7 out of 9 fans going. Then on the test bench we have the Gigabyte P55A UD7, which is a very nice board, as you can see there. Got the EVGA water block on there. Just got a fan over the chipset just to keep it cool, not running it particularly high voltage or anything though. So yeah, it's a pretty nice P55 board, running the G.Skill RipjawsX memory PSC, and obviously the Super Flower power supply. The fan is hardly moving. Underneath the cooler we have a i5 6550K, which is a 2-core one. There you go, 2-core 4-thread, running at 4.7 on 1.45 volts in the BIOS. Just want to check the temperatures in the V droop here. So you can see the idle temperature is pretty low on one of the cores and pretty high on the other core. And we're currently running wprime 124M for hwbot Team Cup. So it did crash last time. You can see the temperature it's getting to down there, about 60 degrees, 1.45 volts. I've just turned the load line calibration up as well, so this temperature has gone up quite a bit. So here we're using the EVGA GT710 for the graphics, and obviously I've got it in the bottom slot there. It's a pretty nice board. It's got a decent I/O. It's got your PS2 port, although I'm not using that because my PS2 keyboard's plugged into the mining rig. It does also have USB 3, which is pretty decent for a P55 board. Not many of them have them. This board can support up to an i7 875K, which is a 4-core 8-thread. So this is like underneath the X58 platform, and the X58 platform is quite a bit better. But obviously for the Team Cup we need to use a Clarkdale dual-core CPU. Has got SATA 3 this board. I'm plugged into the SATA 3 6GB port, which you can see there. It's also got SATA 2, got a postcode reader as well. It has got a power button, but unfortunately no reset button, which is a bit annoying. It's got another button there. I think that's clearing CMOS. And it has also got a water cooler for the chipset. But as you can probably tell, my tubes are a little bit bigger than the barbs here. But you can see there. Just take the little plug off. I think it might have come with a heatsink originally as well. You know, one of those giant ones which goes in the PCIe slot maybe, I don't know. I got this board used obviously. And the VRM is pretty crazy as well. You can see there's like a million chokes and caps around there, and there's all doublers on the back of the board as well. So it's probably like a 24 or 32 phase or something ridiculous. Probably have to look it up on online. Anyway, I thought I'd just show it quickly, show you what I'm benching for the Team Cup here. It's a pretty cool board. So yeah, it has heat pipes in between all the heat sinks as well, but unfortunately none of them are copper fins like they used to be. on the 775 boards. So it's got a heat pipe there, obviously up here as well. Unfortunately it doesn't have one that goes all the way around there, but whatever. It's a pretty nice board. It's only got a single 8-pin as well. The Rampage 3 Extreme and the X58 AOC for the X58 chipset have 2 8-pins, so that only has one. I've got another one there spare. It has got some LED lights that come on when it turns on, both up here and down there, just down the side of there, which tell you when it's posting as well. But it's not the best board for OC, maybe not the most efficient on the base clock. I've got the base clock at 205, as you can see there. The memory as well is just running over 1600 and 89824, 84 on the TRFC. It's mostly on auto timings. I haven't fiddled with it too much because obviously I'm running just wprime, so it doesn't really matter. There it is. You can see the BIOS version I'm on there as well. Use memory of 2133. Obviously, I don't think they'll run that on P55. So yeah, it's a dual core i5, but a K, so it is unlocked multiplier. But I still like running the high base clock. Get the memory frequency and the North Bridge frequency all correct. So there we go, it's getting to about 61 max, and it has almost done. So it has finished now, 330 seconds, which isn't a great score, but whatever. I'll go back into the BIOS quickly and just show you the BIOS on this board as well. So here we are in the BIOS of the P55A UD7. You can see the current settings there. CPU temperature is about 18. We've got 22 in here, but when it's in Windows it runs at 23, and if I set it to 21 it runs at 22 for some reason. So it always runs one multiplier higher than it says there. Obviously I've got my speed step and all that C states disabled. Got the QPI at 7.3 gigahertz. Obviously 205 BCLK. Memory's at 1600. I haven't needed to play with the PCIe frequency because obviously we're not over 220, and I'm running a bit of extra voltage on the CPU clock drive, but not bothered with these two down here. Memory timings wise, you can see what I've set there. Not very exciting. And they're the voltages I'm running. So 1.45 on the CPU. Load line calibration. So yeah, before I was running on level 1 at 1.4 volts, and that was dropping down to about 1.376 volts. So I'm running level 2 now, and it pretty much holds it steady at where it's at or just above. QPI voltage is at 1.3. Probably doesn't need to be that high to run this current speed, to be honest, but whatever. And PCH is at 1.2. RAM voltage nearly 1.8, but it doesn't really matter. And also I've got the termination voltage set as well. And then I haven't bothered with these here. I could probably disable those, see if it makes a difference. Probably not. I'm pointing the camera at the screen. Right. I'm probably just going to go a couple up on the base clock now. So that's what it's actually going to be at in Windows. So I'm going to try that next basically, and we'll see if it works. I have had this CPU up to 4.9, but it needed like 1.6 volts, which was a bit silly really. Well, you can see the lights on it there, by the way. It'll go off once it posts, so it does take quite a while to post. It's not the fastest poster in the world. When it does the BIOS screen, it's amazing compared to all the new BIOS screens. So yeah, you can see now it's a little bit faster. See if that works. I'll come back if it actually runs. Passed alright at 4.76, so we've gone up to 4.8 now. Still running fairly slow memory. Have a go at 4.8, see if it blue screens. Possibly. Who knows? So there we go, around 4.8 gigahertz, no problem. 319 seconds. Carry on. Just tried 4.85 gigahertz and that didn't really work. Couldn't get it to post, so sticking with 4.8, went up to 211 on the base clock. But I have tightened up the memory a little bit now, so it doesn't make much difference in wprime. However, give it a go anyway, see if it's any better. I think we got 319 last time, so let's go. See how it does. Might blue screen, but we'll see. So it's actually come out slower than before, and that's because it doesn't really care about memory, so it's just run to run variation pretty much. But I'm just going to do a quick I'll do a quick Cinebench for you. This is 11.5. It's crashed. So there we go. Apparently it's not even stable in Cinebench at 4.8. 124 needs a bit more voltage. So we're trying that again. See, I've got Cinebench running there. 11.5. (62°) maximum temperature. Let's just have a look what kind of score it's going to get here. Oh, there we go. There's actually a score on here of this exact CPU just there. So there you go. Even using a GT 710. So that's pretty funny. I don't know whether there's one higher than that or not. There's a i7 860. i7 960 there. There's a Xeon X5550 2500K W55. So it's nearly done anyway, we'll see what it gets. .88. Is that higher than before? That's a little bit lower than my previous best score there. So I don't know what that was at. Must have been slightly faster. Actually, I'll try it in real time and I bet I'll probably get that score. We'll give it a go. There you go, proper real time run. Exact same settings that I was on before. And on a dual core CPU makes quite a big difference. So before it was below this previous result here, now it's all the way up there, so it's pretty good.